Just rigging up my temporary fuel tank with a little bit of fuel in it. The float and the carburetor actually seem to be working fine, so I didn't bother disassembling the carburetor and cleaning it. I may have to do that later, but for now I'm just going to try it this way. So this position here is the choke on. That's off, so I'm going to start cranking it with the choke on. Oh, just heard a little gurgle. Uh-oh, fuel's coming out of the carburetor. Yeah, I should have taken the carburetor apart and cleaned it. So I'll turn my little makeshift tank over and stop the fuel flow. But now that there's fuel in the bowl, let's just see if it pops off. Ah, a bad connection on the battery. Try again. What the heck? Oh man. There's gasoline squirting out of the fuel pump here. What a rip. Now that wasn't leaking before. Man, what a bummer. Well, that's good enough reason to quit tonight. It's already getting dark. Well, another bright sunny day to work on the tractor. Quit last night because it got too dark. And what I found last night was when I was cranking it, gas started spraying out in this direction from the fuel pump here, and I couldn't even really see well what the hell's going on. And now it looks like that's been leaking gas maybe for a longer period of time than just being a recent occurrence. Not sure, but see, there's a gasket between the two halves of the fuel pump here. So I don't know, it could be leaking out there. Could also be a bad diaphragm in the fuel pump, which might cause it to leak gas into the crankcase. This is all wet back here, so that makes me kind of wonder about that. Let me check the level of the oil. Okay, I just checked the level of the dipstick. It's a little low, but it's definitely not overfilled, and it doesn't look diluted or smell of gasoline. So that would indicate to me that I don't have a problem with gasoline getting from the fuel pump into the crankcase. So I think at this point what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect the fuel pump. I might just run this sucker as a gravity feed anyways. This fuel pump would have been important maybe in the original generator application this motor was in, but since it's in this tractor now and the tank sits up here, gravity flow would work perfectly fine. Well, I decided I'm going to take the carburetor off and clean it, fix that problem with the float sticking, and clean the passages on it while I'm at it. Alright, let's remove the screws that hold the float bowl on. Hopefully they're not stuck too badly. Well, these aren't stuck, but what's kind of nice is that all the other carburetors of this style that I've worked on, like the Marvel Scheblers, these have been rounded screws, and so if you couldn't get the screwdriver on them, you had trouble with them. But what's nice about these is they actually get a hex head to them too, so you could get a small wrench on there to help break them free if they were too tight. This carburetor is a Zenith carburetor, and being that it's a Zenith, with this style updraft, with this really flat side here, this could fit on the Continental N62 where the distributor's right here. So this could actually end up being a rare Zenith carburetor. The reason why I say rare is because most of the guys are running Marvel Scheblers on those N62s because they can't find this carburetor. And the original carburetor that was on my father's old Earthmaster tractor that I'm going to restore one of these days was a Zenith, and that had been damaged badly, so we had replaced it with a Marvel Schebler. So if I wanted to go back to more authentic restoration on that, I might want to actually use this Zenith. We'll see. Okay, just popped it open. Let's see what kind of crusties we got in there. Huh? Got some gas. Oh, got a nice pile of rust particles in there in the bottom. Yeah. Got whatever that is, it just fell out. The heck is that? I have no idea what that is. Actually, almost looks like a larva soaked in gas. Some kind of insect larva. Oh yeah, a lot of corrosion up there. Alright. Let's start disassembling it to clean it. And see if we can get this pin out and remove the float assembly. This gasket's interesting. It's got a cut in it so that this venturi, which slides out of here, it's removable, can be actually taken out. It doesn't really want to fit through the gasket that way. The gasket's got a little bit of a cut through it, so you can get these little dog ears on the top here out through it a little easier. So that went right in there like that. Now with that gasket out, you can see the area that was up on top of the gasket here in the top of the bowl area. It's all oxide and rust. Alright, I gotta get a pin to drive that hinge pin for the float out. I got it started with my small, my fine tip punch, and then I put in a little brad, or small finish nail would work also. Used it as a drift pin to knock that pin out. Now I can take the bowl off. Wow, can really see all that corrosion in there. I have to clean all that up. Let's pull the needle out. That don't look too bad. Clean that up. Seat. Kind of hard to see on the video, but you can look down in the seat there and see that that's not badly corroded. Could clean that up also. Alright, just gave the bowl a shake. Don't hear any fuel in the bowl. That's good. But I can submerge this bowl into some water and watch for any bubbles, which would be telltale signs of a pinhole. Okay, it looks like there's your main jet right here, and then it looks like that's fed through a passage right here, the bottom of this bowl casting, and it looks like that nut right there would be a logical thing to remove to get into that, to clean that. And then you've also got jet here, right where my thumbnail is. And then of course on the top here you've got the idle air screw mixture adjustment. That one goes down to, looks like that hole right there. So I see a few passages we can clean. And then this, oh look at that, that's more insect larva nest or whatever. Nasty. And then you get a tiny jet in there also. So let's see what we can clean. Well, I took out the idle air fuel mixture screw. I turned it in until it softly seated, and then it counted the turns, and it was about 1.5 turns. So that's where I'll start with an initial setting after I reassemble. And interestingly enough, on the back here, this little area here, I just dug out a whole bunch of that insect residue or whatever that was in there, cobweb, larva, the whole 9 yards. And that corresponds to, when this is put back together, that covers this little area right here, which is, there's this hole right here. This hole was actually completely blocked. I just dug out some stuff and then stuck a little probe down there as far as I could, and I could feel that that's like blocked really badly with whatever that stuff was. So that's obviously not good for carburation. And I got, let's see, I took this drain plug out because the bottom of the drain plug is just full of crud. I dug some of that out of there. That's really stuck in there. And there's definitely a removable jet in there, but I got to get the right size screwdriver to try that. And I'm not going to force it if I can't get it out. Just going to have to work around it if I can. Same thing with this one here. It's really stuck in there. Going to use my little probes, that tip, welding tip cleaning kit that I have, which has all the little wires on it. I'm going to use that and try and run as many of these passages as I can with that. And then I'm going to take the whole carburetor and all the components and toss it into the gallon container of carb cleaner and give it a good soak after I get the heavy residue of the rust off of the bowl.